Hello, hello. Let's see. Let me just get these out of here. Okay. Hey, ladies. I am also, I decided kind of at the last minute to stream this to the Facebook group. So hopefully that's working. But if you are watching in the Facebook group, and you're writing comments or anything like that, I'm not going to be able to see it as I'm going through it. So I can come back later, check the questions, but go ahead. If you're in the Facebook group and you're watching, type that you're watching. I'll catch you later. If you are here on Zoom, thank you so much for coming. One thing that I wanted to know, as much as I would love to hear all your voices, if you were here in the last one, Melissa can testify to this. If you were here in this one that we did in April, the mute issue went off the rails. I didn't mute everyone at once. Someone was on there and it took me forever to find the mute button, which is such an easy thing to find. Oh gosh, let me put on my video. So it took me forever and I was sweating bullets and it was super awkward and everything. Anyway, it was really distracting. So for now, I've put everyone on mute, but if you have any questions or whatever, just put them in the chat while we're going. If it makes sense, I'll answer it. If not, I'm gonna unmute everyone later on. And then I'll go over kind of any questions that you guys want to go over. Make sure everyone has a really good handle on it. And then lastly, one thing that I wanted to get across to you is this is really valuable information. It's a lot. It's like drinking water from a fire hydrant, right? Fire hose. But what I encourage you to do is I want you to implement, but you can implement one thing at a time, right? You don't have to go and get your blogs for the year, right? Find out what's the most important to your business, whether it's getting your email sequence up, whether it's revamping your website, whether it's getting some marketing materials together, whatever it is, go ahead and focus on that one thing and use ChatGPT to get you there. When that's done, you can focus on the next thing. So don't get, overwhelmed and then we don't get anything done, okay? So let me go ahead. I am going to share my screen real quick. Give me a second.
Hola, Sara.
Sorry. Hello. Oh my goodness. Someone is Magda. I know that's you without even looking at it, but someone is not muted and I thought I had everyone muted. So I'm going to double check that before we start. Let me go ahead and just get this up. This is the worst part of it. All right. Can everyone see my screen? You know what it is too? Last time it was a lot more manageable. There's a lot less people. I'm sorry, there was a lot more people. So the muting thing went kind of crazy. Okay, so here we go. ChatGPT for Realtors. If you were here already in April, I believe, it's kind of, some of the things are going to be the same. Some of the content's going to be the same, but there's a lot more that I think I've added and some maybe new tips and tricks to kind of help you, really scale your business, especially in times where things are a little bit slower. That's the perfect time to start automating things. I just met with someone Friday who is kind of overwhelmed with her business and wants to automate everything. So they want it to just be working for them. So it's a really good time and use ChatGPT to do that. Okay. So first, if you scan this little thing, it'll give you 10 free ChatGPT prompts you can use if you want to. If you want to go ahead and follow me, I'm trying to get my Instagram kind of growing up a lot, getting there. And then stick around to the end. I am going to do a Q&A, and then I'm going to go ahead and show you kind of a helpful tool that may help you. All right, so when we talk about understanding ChatGPT, I know we're at varying levels. I've seen people that have been in other classes. I've done both online and in person. So I don't know how intricate your knowledge of ChatGPT is, but basically ChatGPT is like a language model. You want to think of it as kind of a person. It has gathered all the information available on the internet up until September, for the free version, September 2019, for the paid is September 2021. And it can gather all that information, spit this back out to you in seconds, right? So it's trained on a plethora of data, and it's constantly learning and improving and everything. So it can interact with you. And that's the way I want you to see it, as just an assistant that you could say, hey, give me this, and it can deliver. Okay. So just like if you had a real estate assistant, they're not going to know everything that you know and how you work. So you are going to have to add your expertise to it, your knowledge and all that stuff, but just it really cuts down a lot of time, which helps you grow, scale your business, make more money. All right. And then I say this a lot, but I want to say it again, drive it home. Technology won't replace realtors, but the realtors who are using technology will replace realtors who don't. You know, everyone who wants to sit out the video game and who doesn't want to be present and using these tools, I want to say in the kindest way possible, but they are going to be left behind, because this is the way, the world is moving, but also all these new buyers and sellers coming up, these young people, they're used to this type of experience, right? So you want to be able to use technology to highlight who you are and your business, and then help you to scale your business. So when we talk about getting started, this is kind of the URL that you go to, chat.openai.com. You can either log in if you have one, or you can sign up for one. That little QR code should take you there. Now, there is a free version that's, I believe, 3.0, and then there's a paid version that's $20 a month. For all intents and purposes, as realtors, you do not need the paid version. The free one is just enough. The only thing I like to make sure that you know is that its knowledge ends at the end of 2019, towards the end of 2019. So obviously the real estate market from the end of 2019 till now is worlds apart as far as numbers, right? But a lot of the information is still the same. So if you ask it for something like a market update, it's going to tell you, for example, in 2019, the average price point in Charlotte was probably 300,000, or where I live was probably 300,000. Now that's probably closer to 450. So you're gonna have to change those numbers things, or that time sensitive content, but for everything else, the free version is fine. The other thing is sometimes it gets logged back and you won't be able to use it on the free version, but that's pretty rare lately. It's not as crazy as it was. So I would go ahead, use the free version, get in there and start playing around with it. So first, let's talk about leveraging AI for lead gen, because obviously lead generation is the bread and butter of this business. It's a numbers game. We want to bring people in, and we want to use strategies to be able to kind of build as many people or get as many people into our funnels as possible. So the way ChatGPT can help you with this is by helping you write personalized conversations, qualifying your leads, automated follow-up, which is my favorite, targeted ads and ad copy if you're running paid ads, especially on things like Facebook and Google. This can be really helpful. Creation of your lead magnet and automatic responses. So personalized conversations, what you can do is, let's say if you are, let's say maybe if you're having a conversation with a seller that is thinking of selling, but they're like, I don't really know, the interest rates are high. You can tell ChatGPT, hey, I'm having this conversation with the seller. Give me a script of some things that I can kind of say back and what some common objections are. And ChatGPT will literally write out that seller's, probably what their responses are, because these are common objections, right? And then it will give you a lot of really good objection handlers in the form of, you can ask it to write a script for you, or you could just ask it to give you common objection handlers. It'll write that for you. And all these things, automated follow-up with your email list, with your CRM, building those into them, it can be really important. So let's look at an example. So the example prompt here would be, please write a concise but compelling follow-up email for a prospective home seller who downloaded my free seller's guide, that freebie, 2 days ago, right? So you want to follow up with someone who has gotten into your funnel and you want this to go out to them. Keep in mind, you want this to be automated. So you can set up this one email. Your email system or your CRM should be able to personalize it with their name. And then this should be going out for you, right? So you can see this is an example of what ChatGPT wrote. Now, one thing that I want to make sure you know is make it sound like you. They're going to write it kind of like in a professional business tone. You can tell ChatGPT, write this in a more casual tone, write this in a humorous tone, however you want to do it, or you can wait for them to deliver it back to you. And then you want to go ahead and you want to make sure that you are personalizing this for your market, for your niche client, and for your personality. You want it to sound like you, and you want to kind of infuse it with your personality as much as possible, because that's what helps you build a relationship, and that's what helps you get responses. With emails like these two, I really, really, really love when people couple them with like a little video that could be used multiple times for anyone, is generic enough. And that way people are seeing your face. The response rate on those, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I've done it myself. Believe me, the response rate on those is much higher than with your standard text email. Okay, so when we talk about enhancing marketing efforts, right? I'm a big proponent of video marketing. So we can give you video ideas, prompts, outlines, like an outline to follow for your video. It can give you a script if you prefer to read, and it can write captions for these videos or give you ideas for the caption to pair with your video. When you are telling ChatGPT to give you one of these, so you're writing it in that little prompt bubble, you want to give it as much information as possible. So you want to include the length that you want it to be. For example, YouTube would be closer to a 2-minute video or even longer. Instagram, you're going to want to keep it maybe 30 to 60 seconds. TikTok, sometimes you can stretch to be that 60 to 90 second if it's like an educational style video. So you want it to give them the length of time. You want to tell ChatGPT who is your audience. So let's say if you are creating a video that you want to be targeted towards home buyers, go ahead and tell ChatGPT, include the topic and include the platform. Be specific, like, hey, I'm creating this script for a YouTube video about moving to my city. So my prompt example here and this is what you would write in, is please write a video outline for a 60-second Instagram Reels video highlighting 3 pros and cons of moving to Miami, Florida, right? Because I want to move to Miami. So, and then it will generate something there for you. So I actually have the example of what it did for Charlotte. So it's going to give you this duration, 60 seconds. It's going to give you an intro, and then it's going to break them into sections. So we told it to give us an outline. So here is where it's going to say, okay, the pro number 1, thriving job market. That's for you to start talk about the job market. And then this is just a little piece of it, but later on it gives you the cons. So you can kind of practice the script, get familiar with it, go on video, and you're good. Another thing that ChatGPT really works well with is database marketing. So I think we focus so much on getting leads in that we forget the leads that we kind of have in our database that we tend to ignore. I know you've all seen that stat about 80-something% of people don't work with the same realtor twice, right? So you really want to hone in on those people, especially if your business has slowed down a little bit this year. Go to those people, start warming them up, start re-nurturing them. You can use this for market updates. So in your neighborhood, maybe in your small town or something like this, you can go ahead and get these updates. You can advertise local events. You can give neighborhood information, revive a cold email list. So let's say if you have a list of past clients and you really haven't gotten into touch with them, ChatGPT can give you a good way or a good email to kind of revive that up and start making contact with them on a regular basis. And newsletters, whether it's digital or print newsletters, ChatGPT, they got you, right? So for example, my prompt here would be, please write a concise real estate market update for Concord, North Carolina, and include a call to action for the audience to reach out to me for the statistics on their specific neighborhood or home, right? So this is going to be something that you can share online in a group, maybe in one of your local city Facebook groups, or you could probably make a video of it, but we want to be concise because we want to keep people's attention. Then you can also write listing descriptions. So this is probably one of the more common ways I've seen ChatGPT going around. But if you're tired of seeing this home boasts or this home is nestled or all those regular things, you want these listing descriptions to have personality. The other reason this is important is when people are choosing between multiple realtors, one of the things that they're going to consider besides just the commission is how is this person's marketing? If you have marketing that gets attention, that means that the home gets more attention, right? So you want to write creative listing descriptions that aren't just like, this home is nestled on a cul-de-sac lot, whatever. You want to like explain to the person what it feels like to live there, right? But when you give ChatGPT this listing description to write, you want to give it all the information it needs to write this. So you can say, well, I'll give you an example here. I won't read the whole thing out to you, but you're going to say, please write a listing description. You're going to say where it is. You're going to say its features. You're going to say kind of what are the highlights of the home. And then you want it to give you this up. I have found that sometimes it gives me, here you go. Sometimes the listing description is too long for like what your MLS would accept. But you can always tell ChatGPT, hey, please rewrite this, but make it more concise. And then they'll shrink that down. Or you can just take this, shave off what you don't want or what you think is unnecessary, and then put it in the MLS. All right, so really good. It kind of writes a story about it, use words that we often don't just have time to think about. I know you're probably all great writers, but it's hard when you're rushing to get something listed. It's hard to kind of think through and start being creative with your content. Another thing I really love, and this is new since our last training, is the neighborhood guide. So this prompt example is really in ChatGPT language. It's really called a command. And there's a number of these commands where you just put / neighborhood guide, and then you have to add the location. So for this one, this is really good if you're trying to build content to attract people who are moving into your city. So depending what city you are in, that makes sense or doesn't make sense, right? Charlotte, North Carolina is probably one of the top 5 cities in the country people are moving to, right? If not the top 10. So it's really smart for agents here to be giving out these guides and letting other people realize what kind of each neighborhood looks like. I talked about this in a live class I did, but I moved here from New York City. It's extremely different than New York City. But I remember talking to my agent, like, I want a neighborhood, I want to live somewhere that's like Forest Hills. And that was a little neighborhood in Queens. And, you know, and then I trusted that agent to know kind of what the neighborhoods that had that vibe were, right? Because if you don't know, you don't know. So for specifically for people who are moving from out of state, this is a really helpful idea. This is Charlotte, one that I did. And then it's going to give you these things. This can be used for carousel posts. This can be used for videos. This can be used for blogs. This can be used for a number of different styles of content. You can even create a freebie with a neighborhood guide that people can download in exchange for their email address. Like, just plenty of ways to use this content, and always keep that in mind. Like, how can I multi-purpose this content I have? Oh, and here we go. Okay, so repurposing content. So ChatGPT will help you, you know, I can give you as many ideas, and you're going to know a lot of them too, but ChatGPT can help you in this aspect too. So you can give it a piece of content, like let's say if you gave it a blog you wrote or your brokerage wrote, and you're going to say, repurpose this content into an Instagram carousel post. And those are just kind of the sliding posts on Instagram. So really great for that. The other thing is you can have it rewrite stuff. Let's say if you have an email from a couple of years ago, or you have a blog, or you have a guide, like a market update guide or a seller's guide that you want updated, you can plug all that in and say, rewrite this in a more friendly style, rewrite this, you know, anything you want, rewrite this to sound more modern or more engaging, you know, however you kind of feel like it needs to be changed. You can revamp your content. You can change the tonality. So like I said, you can say, write this in a funny tone, write this in a humorous tone, write this in a compelling tone. Any of those things will work. The other thing is you can have it rewrite stuff in a different language. So if you are a bilingual, trilingual, polyglot agent, and you want it to write content in multiple languages for you without you having to sit there and translate it, ChatGPT will do that for you. However, of course, with anything that's automated, you know, I expect you to go through and make sure it sounds right. Also, if I go in there and I tell it, please write this in French, and I don't know a lick of French, there's no reason I should be putting out marketing in a different language if I don't know how to speak the language. So just go, and that's a really helpful tool. Just make sure you're using it the right way. Another thing I really like to do is you can train the AI and you can use it as more than just this robot, but like put it into the position of a certain kind of expert. So it could give you these ideas. So I talked about this earlier when we spoke about having it write these like scripts for you. For something like that, you would say, hey, you're a top producing real estate coach, or you're a world-renowned real estate coach. Help me with these objections. How do I handle these objections, right? Or you can say the example I use is you're an expert Instagram strategist. Please write a 30-day Instagram marketing strategy for real estate looking to attract buyer leads. Of course, make this for you, be as specific as possible. The more specific, the better your marketing is, right? If you're marketing to everyone, you're marketing to no one. So put in what the niche that you want to work with, and then have it write it out for you. So this is part of what it wrote for me. It gives you it breaks this into weeks and gives you detailed specifics of what you can do. Go through it, make sure it fits you, make sure it fits your strategy and all that. You can edit it for you, but it gives you a really good foundation place to start. Now, my favorite thing would be using it for automation. So I know, and I'm not even this mega agent, but I've noticed that in times where I've had multiple transactions going on at the same time, I really fell back on everything else because I didn't have time now to pay attention to my marketing, right? Where you're doing a million things, going to an inspection, going to a closing, putting out a fire, like it's just constant. And when you're busy with all that, your marketing falls by the wayside. So it's really important if you can put the work in, put working on the front end to set up your automations. That way it's working for you while you're out there doing the work that you love, right? So these hands-off automation ideas look like targeted email funnels and drip campaigns, right? So when someone gets dropped into your funnel is basically a nurturing sequence from when you meet them to when you make the sale, right? So if you have these funnels leading them on a journey, ChatGPT is really great for building that, right? You can also implement lead capture forms on your website or landing page that are collecting this contact information, or if you have a CRM that does this, great. But now these people can be tagged, dropped into this funnel, and now they can receive these messages from you constantly, right? Or on set time period. They're personalized, they're automated, and they're working for you. This is also really good for chatbots and automated messaging. So I don't know how much time you spend on Instagram, but there's a real uptick now with chatbots. And so someone's Instagram will say, hey, so for example, let's say you are selling a house and you're asking people to get information. For Instagram, there's really no way to put like a hyperlinked URL in the copy of your Instagram post, right? You have to send them to your link in bio. So what a lot of people have been doing lately is comment house if you want to link to more information about this house, right? Chat bots and things like that, the way you can set them up is to automate a message. So as soon as someone comments, now they're getting a message right into their DM box. It's very seamless. It's very enjoyable for the audience, and you're not trusting them to click off of Instagram and go or actually click to your profile, go to the link tree. It's just too many steps, right? So this kind of streamlines that process for the user. So it's a really great user experience, but it's also working for you. So if someone comments house at 3 o'clock in the morning while you're sleeping, you're not getting back to them 5 hours later, right? It's speed to lead. And that's the real way to kind of keep these people in your funnel. And then lastly, welcome emails, right? So if you're meeting people at open houses, if you're getting them to sign up for freebies, wherever you are getting people, it's so important to be able to add them right into your funnel and they're getting this automatic email. So let's say if you get people at your open house to sign up for the open house or to win a prize, whatever, while you are at that open house, you can enter in their email. Now they're getting triggered. They're getting this email sent right from you. It builds value. They see your face and it makes you memorable, right? And then they can get a sequence of emails over the next few days or few weeks, and you're able to keep touch. It's much easier than going home and trying to email 20 people, right? So then you can also, okay, so an example for this would be, please write a 3-part email sequence for visitors who came to my open house and are prospective buyers. So here's one of the emails it came up with. This is email 1. Again, edit this to the way you want it to sound, your style, your market, all that stuff. And then it'll give you 3 different emails that you can go ahead and edit. You can ask it to do 10, you know, whatever you want. But then you can just go into your CRM or your email marketing software, set up these funnels, and done. Another great way to use this, I'm sorry guys, I know it's a lot, we're almost done, but it's just so exciting to see all the ways that you can really scale your business. But it has unlimited access as of September 2021 or 19 to search data, right? So you can ask them, what are people searching for? When people search about moving to Charlotte, North Carolina, what are some other searches that come up, right? I put in like when people are looking for how to sell my house. These are some of the other searches, right? So the way you can use this is that now you can turn it around and you're going to kind of reverse engineer this process, right? So people are searching for how to sell your house with a realtor. Great. Now you're going to go make a video, make a post, make a carousel post, write a blog, write an email, all about how do you sell your house with a realtor? What does the process look like? What does it all look like? And that way you're getting to people before they've had a chance to go find someone else, because people are researching this stuff for months before they take action, right? So you being there, you know that search data says that they're searching for it. So it's kind of, it's a no-brainer. What not to fix when selling my house. You know, I want to sell my house urgently. Steps in selling by owner. Don't be afraid of, you know, kind of coming or confronting the idea of selling by owner or these like objections. Confront the objections. That way you place yourself in a position of trust. And that way you're kind of the first one that's going to come into their mind, right? So search data is really important with that. And then lastly, I really love templates. If you scroll down on all the, on the left side of the screen, it's going to show you all your previous chats. If you scroll down to that little templates, this is kind of what it's going to deliver. And this is run through keywords everywhere, which is where I got that search data before. But you can toggle around with this. So for this one, I saw on social media how to make an ad for me. You can choose your language, you can choose your tone of voice, you can choose the writing style, everything. And then in this little topic area, you can put, let's say, buying a home with a pool in Charlotte. And it's going to kind of give you all of this. So what it does is it's basically writing up the entire prompt for you. So you don't have to think. All you're doing is telling it what you want. It's writing the prompt, giving it to ChatGPT, and you click on execute template, and now you have it there, and ChatGPT will give you its response for that. We won't go over all of these, but other kind of hacks or ways you can use it are through the paid ads. Well, we did go over some of them, but listing descriptions, your email marketing, some ideas and stuff, having it build up fun, or having it give you a map kind of to build out these funnels, rewriting your SEO, really important, Google business, and then scripts and all that. All right. And then, like I said earlier, adding your touches is making sure this content reflects your personality, who you are, who your ideal clients are, what your market looks like, and all that. You want to make it sound as authentic as possible. Really quickly, there's a transaction coordination business in my market. They dropped a post inside our Charlotte Realtor group. So maybe it's because I spent a lot of time in ChatGPT, so I can kind of tell what it's going to write for me. But I could tell that they just basically put something in ChatGPT, copy and pasted it, right? Because it even had that random hashtags that ChatGPT will give you. Don't do that, right? You don't want to copy and paste exactly. You want to make it sound like you. You want to make sure your personality is infused. And for the record, it wasn't Nicole Jordan, Jordy Lux Transactions, because she's the best. But yeah, you don't want to make it sound like a robot. No one wants to engage and build a relationship with a robot. You want to infuse your personality in it. Use the translation. Make sure the content is up to date specifically with those market insights and market stats. And then continue to train the AI to work for you. So as you learn what you need, keep telling the ChatGPT what you want it to function as, and what you want it to deliver to you as. And over time, you will train it. It's going to work better and better for you. Now we're going to go through a quick Q&A, but one thing that I created, this was a few months ago, we've kind of added some stuff to it, is I have a complete ChatGPT bundle. I've already put together 100 prompts for you, 100 of the actual answers for all these content ideas. So there's blogs in there, there's email sequences, like actually written out. There's email sequences, there's commands, I should have taken a screenshot of it, but there's a bunch of different stuff already done for you. So you don't even have to think about the prompts. You don't even have to think about how to work it. You just go in there. Let's say if you're like, oh, I just want to open house sequence, you go in the spreadsheet or grab it. I've also kind of tagged it with a lot of repurposing tips. So if there's a blog, I'll tell you this one would be good for a video. This one would be good for a YouTube video. This one will be good for a carousel post. I've tagged it all. Everything you need is in there. More than you need is in there. So if you want to go ahead and grab that for yourself, you can just scan this little QR code with your phone, go grab it. It's discounted. Is discounted for the next 24 hours. So if you want to go in and grab that, that's fine. And also the old recorded training is in there. This new one is going to be added there, so you can be able to access it anytime. Okay, so let me unmute you guys and let me get out of my screen share. And let me just see if there are any questions. This is a lot easier than last time when there was like 40 something people on here. Let me unmute you all. Okay. All right. So in here, in this group, does anyone have questions about using the ChatGPT, how to use it, prompts, anything?
Hello, Sarah. How are you?
Hey, Katrina.
Awesome. So this is my second training with you on this topic. I don't have any questions at the moment, but everything that you've been giving me has been very helpful. And I did download the app. I don't know why I downloaded two ChatGPT apps, but I use them both. They've been practically doing the same thing. I'm loving it. I'm rebranding my website and using ChatGPT to do my blogs. Just putting, asking it to create different topics, and it's been amazing. So I'm excited about rolling that out to the public in a few months. I'm still still constructing. It's under construction, so to speak, but I'm loving. It's my virtual assistant. ChatGPT is my virtual assistant, and it's freed up a lot of brain space. So exactly.
Which allows you more time to go and get that business, right? So that's the great thing about it. It's just, that's exactly what it is. The virtual assistant will take the things off your hands so you can go and get more business. And that's what's great about ChatGPT. One thing to consider is when you're doing that, and there's some kind of like SEO already built into ChatGPT, but when you are asking it for topics and titles for your blogs and stuff, you can say, hey, give me these in optimize for SEO. And so that's really going to help your blog, like once you launch your website and stuff, come up in search results and all that stuff. So just
say that again, put in what, Sarah? I'm sorry.
No, when you're in ChatGPT and let's say you're asking it for these blog titles or blog ideas, just say, give me these ideas and titles optimized for SEO, which means it's going to give you common ways that people are searching. For example, no one searches best, homes for sale in Charlotte. They're like, house for sale. They just know the way people are searching, or they don't search like top producing agent they search best realtor Charlotte, right? So you want to, so you want it to just spit back to you. There is an element of SEO optimization already there, just because it's feeding from the top results from the internet. But you can tell it that. And that just kind of is like a little bit of a cherry on top.
Awesome.
That makes sense.
Thank you for that. And I'm going to have to jump off. This has been amazing. I still want to get that one-on-one in with you, and we'll talk more. Thanks so much.
Yes. I don't think I ever emailed you that day. I'm so sorry.
Oh, girl.
I will email you right after this.
Okay.
All right, guys.
Okay.
All right. Let me
everybody have a great day. Bye.
You too. Let me just, does anyone else have questions before I let you go? Because I know that you are tired of hearing my voice and my throat hurts. Anyone else? Okay. All right, well, thank you so much for coming, guys. I really appreciate it. We will do again. If you think of things later on, go ahead. You can either email me or respond to one of the emails I sent, or you can just comment in the group in the video, and then I'm happy to come back and answer that whenever you need. All right. No problem, Cindy. Thank you so much for coming. I'll see you guys soon.